I saw your video about your tote chicken brooder that
Yeah.
you so I should have pulled it up before I started talking about this, but I have one just like it,
Do
that
you?
I made. I do. It was like my first, um it was like I didn't what am I trying to say here? I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on
Yeah.
a chicken brooder, and so, like, for I think I have got, like, 25 bucks into it, um, to make it, and so, like, I put 2, like, 27-gallon totes together, and I one of them is flipped upside down.
Oh, that's a good
So,
idea.
like, because they're, like, angled sides, right? And so to
Yeah.
get it more together, and then I cut a hole in it and kinda framed a little opening so they wouldn't get caught on, like, sharp
Yeah.
plastic or whatever. And then on the one end, I cut a hole in the bottom and screwed in, a frame of hardware cloth and put their waterer over
Oh,
there because I had heard, like, they're super messy.
they're so
They're
messy.
just they're just gonna get their chips wet, and then you have to replace it more often, so I tried to
Yeah.
do my best to keep the chips away from the water, and the water that did get spilled, it would just go, through that hardware cloth, and then the lid was underneath that, so it would just
Okay.
catch all that liquid, and not just get dumped all over the
That's a
floor.
really good idea because we have these like dog play yards that they're growing out of their tote, obviously. And I move them from that and I take these dog play yards and I line it with a bunch of cardboard because I'm too cheap to
Sure.
buy wood to build a permanent brooder. Eventually, I'm sure we will. But at this point, I'm like, no, we have these things. We're just going to use. I'm real big on repurposing things, and
Right, upcycling,
well,
yeah,
and
it's
especially wood right now. Wood is expensive, and we use as much as we can on our property. But some things I'm like, no, I'd rather like. I don't want to use that for a chicken brooder because I want them to be healthy. And what if there's like any kind of like you know, mold or something on the wood because it's been outside, that kind of stuff. So,
that's fair.
but yeah, that's a good idea. I do have multiple of those totes that I could put together and then they could stay in there longer.
Yeah, and they're cheap.
They
I
are cheap.
I raised 25 Cornish cross for the first 2 weeks in those
Wow,
totes. Yeah,
that's
they
pretty
got
good.
pretty crammed by the end of the 2 weeks, and even though we were cleaning them out, what started as every other day, after, like, a week, I think we moved it to every day we were cleaning it out because 'cause they're bigger, they're eating more, they're pooping
Mhm.
more, um,
And
and
Cornish
it
cross
just
get
oh
big
my
so
gosh.
fast.
Oh, it stunk up the basement so bad. It was so
Yeah.
like, the second you, like, walked in front of the stairs, like, you could the smell was, like, coming up the stairs, and my
Uh,
wife's like, "We have to get these out of our house
yeah.
now." And I was like, "I don't have anything ready. Let me slap something together." And so I had to,
Yeah.
yeah, I had to slap something together to
I know they
get them
get
out.
so smelly. Yeah, I would like to build a permanent brooder in the garage. Um, and then once they're big enough, they'll go. We have the duck coop will now be the just the extra coop, the transition coop for like when we start putting them outside. But I do need something because I'm like, okay, they're getting too big for their tote and they're still too little to put in certain things. Like I
Right.
have to line something or I have to buy something or build something that's got, like you said, some hardware cloth or something because I've got one little bird. She is a silver laced Polish, and she she wasn't even growing. She just started growing within the last couple days. She was tiny,
Weird.
and I know, and I'm like, I thought I was gonna have to call her. I was like, she's probably got some digestion issues where her, she's not absorbing nutrients, but she did finally start growing. But so I think that's actually helped me is I have a few smaller birds. Otherwise, I'd be in a lot of trouble right now.